Hi guys, welcome back to day 5 of 5 days of fall. So to conclude this week's 5 days of fall, I wanted to do something that brought us back to our element, to the makeup world that we always live in here on my channel, and that had to be my makeup essentials for the fall season. So I wanted to do kind of like a tutorial form of this video showing you guys my essentials that I love to wear during the fall season, makeup wise, as well as my tips on how to keep this makeup looking so snatched during this fall season. But I quickly want to give a shout out to my shirt. Yes, my shirt, because as you guys can see, it says "'Tis the season," and then there's a pumpkin spice latte right here, guys. Like, do you see that? I got this from Target, and when I saw this at Target, I was so obsessed with it that I was like, I don't even care how much it is, I'm taking it. So I picked this up in the size small. I will have a link down below so you guys can purchase it. I wanted to share that really quick with you guys because I know you guys may be wondering, and I hope you enjoyed this video, so keep watching. Okay, so we're gonna first be starting off with something that I just literally picked up like 20 minutes ago. That is the new ABH NORVINA Volume 3 palette. This is from her collection. I wasn't the biggest fan of the other two, to be completely honest. I wanted a palette that I knew that I would get good use out of, and I got this at Sephora. It was the last one, so I was like, I need to grab this because I'm not gonna let that slip out. So I feel like during the fall time is when you can really have fun with your makeup and really do like more drama than your typical looks any other season, because it's that like fun, dark, vampy vibes type of situation. So I just am here for it. So if I can open this palette, here we go. This is what it looks like. So we have our first fall makeup must-have, which is having a good palette that is going to just have a good range of those nice matte shades that are like super warm toned and like super berry-like, and also some yellows and some like pretty oranges. I'll be starting off with this shade right here as my transition color. Oh my god, that is so pigmented. Woo! I thought it was gonna be a little bit lighter, but this is good with me because this is the type of color that I like to use in the fall, especially for like when I'm thinking of a super duper like fall like look. These like burnt brown red colors, and I'm just taking it from side to side and I'm kind of blowing it up higher, and I'm also kind of angling it out because I do want to give this eye look kind of like an angled effect, almost kind of like it's winging itself. So now that we have that and you kind of have it angled upwards, we're gonna leave that color alone. I'm gonna go in with C4, the color right next to C3, which was the first color that we used, and we're gonna take it super vampy vibes. I feel like that's another color that's like super beautiful on the eye, is like that like dark purple, almost like a maroon color, because I feel like it really gives that a lot of depth in there, and I feel like those are fun colors that like you can only really get away with using during this time of the year. I'm so sad that 5 days of fall is over after this video. I've had so much fun doing these. They're just, I don't know, I just like every day I was so excited to like just post my new like video, and I was excited to see what you guys had to say about each video. You guys were so excited about each upload, and oh, it was so much fun. I will definitely consider doing something like this for the holiday season, like in winter. Okay, so now we have that right in place. So for today's eye, we're gonna do one of my favorite statement looks to do during the fall season, and that's basically using the matte on the crease and then a beautiful, bright, pigmented shimmer on the lid. I'm gonna be mixing D4 and D5 right here, the two orangey shades, and we're gonna be placing that onto our lid. I want to go ahead and start off with the darker orange, which is D4, and I'm going to place that. Oh my god, that is so beautiful. Woo! That is stunning. So I'm using my favorite MAC 242 brush. Wow, I didn't think this color was gonna be this beautiful. It looks pretty in the pan, but once it's on here, it kind of has reflexes of like yellow in there. I wanna say, I feel like having like this orangey shimmery lid is so appropriate for this season, for the pumpkin patch, just like for all those like fun fall festivities. So now I'm gonna go in with D5, the color next door, which is a little bit lighter. It's still in that orangey family. I'm just placing that almost like in the middle. Oh my god, that's so pretty. Do you see how like it goes from like the darker orange to like the lighter orange that we have? And we took it a little bit higher because you guys know my crease fold, so I always like to kind of like go higher so that it doesn't look so like what's going on there. Like you can actually see like the full-blown effect. Definitely a tip that I recommend for my ladies and gents who have those type of eyes that kind of like crease and fold over. I'm really taking the darker orange into the lighter orange so that I can really kind of give it that really pretty like blended effect. Then I'm gonna go back in with that cranberry like dark purple color, which is C4, and I'm going to be using that to just wrap up the look on this outer edge and really blow it up. So do you see how I'm really angling it out? Also, this is a really good tip in case you don't want to do a wing liner. You can just angle it out and it kind of gives you that really structured effect that sometimes a wing can give you. It just angles so pretty. Then I'm also taking my big fluffy Delium Tools blender brush and I'm just blending everything out precisely. Okay, so now that we have that right there, we kind of have it all nice and structured, and now we can go in with a nice liner. I feel like eyeliner, top liner is so essential during the season because I feel like having that liner really gives you like that black effect, which goes perfectly if you are wearing a lash. So I would definitely recommend it. I also feel like it takes your look to the next level. I know that during like spring and summer, we like to just put on the falsies with no liner and have them blend in really nicely with our natural lash. It can almost look like it's our lash, but I feel like this is the season where you can really take your black liner and just go to town with it and give it that like nice, fun, dramatic effect. I'm gonna be taking my Ardell Studio Effects Demi Wispies. These are my favorite. I also feel like in the fall time is when you can really have fun with your lashes, because who doesn't like a nice drama lash? And the cool thing about this one is that A, they're very, very affordable. They're super duper comfortable, but also B, I feel like it's comfortable, but it still gives you like a nice winged out effect, especially if you didn't go in with the wing liner. It's the Ardell Studio Effects collection in the Demi Wispy. So I'm gonna be popping that on here. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Like it just gives you total like pumpkin patch vibes, and the lashes just look phenomenal and they feel good. This is the type of eye that I recommend for this fall season that will definitely be popping, that you'll definitely receive so many compliments on. This is for you. And we used the new Anastasia palette, NORVINA palette, which is really lovely. And the colors that I used were phenomenal, so pigmented. I'm excited to dive into more of these colors as the weeks goes on, because I mean, look at this. It has literally all the fun fall colors that you would need, and even some extra ones for like Halloween type of makeup. Now we're moving on to the face, and I want to talk about some essentials for this fall season. So the first essential makeup wise is your moisturizer. I love my First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Cream. This is a super hydrating moisturizer, but it doesn't leave you super like greasy or oily. It's also extremely amazing for sensitive skin. As for primers, it really depends on your preference and what you really want. For me, more so during this fall season, I like to wear a primer that's going to be more of that like soft matte finish, still hydrating the skin, not making it look super greasy or oily, but also not a primer that's going to be extremely matte, just because I feel like for the fall time, we want hydration on our skin so everything can sit beautifully on top of it. For primer, I like to recommend the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Primer. I feel like this is essential, but I feel like having a good balance in your primer between your needs and that hydration is just key to having good foundation on top. For me, more so during the fall season, I really like a matte finish on my skin, just because I feel like a matte lip, the matte foundation, it just all looks super beautiful and just like porcelain doll-like. I still want to keep the hydration in there because, like I mentioned, during this season it's cold, so I need to make sure that my skin's still getting hydrated and doesn't look like it's super dry and just dull. So the best technique for me to do that is, these have been two foundations that I've been mixing a lot that give me that matte finish but still hydration. They are the Makeup Revolution foundations, the Conceal and Hydrate foundation, which is great hydration. It's a nice consistency. It's not super thick. It feels very skin-like. Then one of my all-time favorite matte foundations, which is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define, which is a beautiful matte consistency. And what I'm going to be doing here is I'm just going to honestly be mixing them on the back of my hand. because this has a pump, so I just need that little pump form. And for this, I like to use a damp sponge because the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Foundation, which is the matte one, is more of a full coverage. I still want my skin to look its best and not cakey. I find that mixing them together, I get the best of both worlds. I'm mixing shade F12 in my Conceal and Define, which is the matte version, and I have 9.5 in the Conceal and Hydrating foundation, and I think that mixed together, they give me a good color. Now, I don't know about you guys, but for me, typically during the fall season, I don't tend to get as oily as I get in the summer and spring, just because it gets so hot during those seasons that I tend to sweat, and that's when my oils really peek through. I feel like during the fall time, I can get away with a matte finish for longer just because the weather is more so cold. And I feel like in the cold, like the makeup just stays on so much better. Okay, so you can see the foundations mixed together are just a dream come true. Moving into this chilly weather season, like I was mentioning with the foundation, you do want to make sure that the under eyes stay hydrated. I tend to find for myself that my under eyes tend to get a little bit more drier than usual, not just during the fall season, but typically during a lot of the seasons. So I prefer to go in more so with a good hydrating concealer, especially when you do go in with those matte foundations. You want to make sure that it's not like matte on matte, because then it can start to separate, look cakey, super thick. I would say finding a good affordable concealer, like the Conceal and Hydrate Concealer by Makeup Revolution, which goes along perfectly with these two foundations, I think is a good staple. I also really love my Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Concealer. I feel like this one gives you great coverage, but it's still super hydrating and lightweight. So if you're more so of a high-end person, you're probably gonna prefer something like this. I do feel though like the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Hydrate is a little bit more coverage than the one by Laura Mercier. Now that we did that, I wanna talk about another thing that I really like to do during the fall time that I don't typically do a lot in the other seasons. You guys don't really see me do this often. Really contouring the face. I feel like this is when you can really get away with that like structured, bam, I am here to slay look. I'm going to be taking my contour stick, which you guys know this is like my holy grail, the Wet n Wild dual ended contour stick. It's so nice and creamy. Doing this contouring before I go in and set my face with powder, because when you put the creams on top of powders, it's just a big no-no. So I'm also gonna go ahead and contour my cheeks. And I'm really going to town with the contour just because I do want it to pop. Do the nose too while I'm at it. Typically, I just like to do like a little bit of bronzer and then blush, but for the fall, I feel like it's so like beautiful when you see like a fully snatched contoured face. Now, this isn't for everybody, but I feel like this is a time where I personally would want to do the nice contour effect. So I'm going to be taking this Real Techniques brush and start to blend everything out so that you can really get rid of all the harshness. And I feel like a small brush like this is perfect for that. And I really go in circular motions to like blend it upwards into my hairline, so it's not like really, you know, unblended or like just harsh. And then I kind of blend it into my foundation so that I don't have helmet head, because that's the worst when you have like the helmet head. And then I'm gonna start blending here. And I'm just gonna go upwards. Because you want it to structure your cheek. If you go downwards, it's just gonna drag your face down. Always take it upwards. And once I get all the way up, I like to just stop and then come back down and take it upwards. So that just really gives you that good snatch. So again, on here, upwards, upwards. Lastly, nose contour. Never forget this step. Can you imagine if you walked out and your nose was just like with two lines? You'd just be like, oh my goodness. Do you see how like it starts to really structure the face and shape it? Like it just looks so cool when you really go in and contour everything. Like I mentioned, don't really contour during any other season. I just feel like sometimes it can be extra. I do contour like this sometimes during the winter, if I'm going to like a holiday party or something like that. But typically like on the regular, not really. It's not like, it's just, I just feel like sometimes it can be a little too much. And I feel like if I save my contouring for special occasions or like, you know, special times, like during this season, it makes it like more like, oh my gosh, like I forgot how good this looked, you know? So we're looking super snatched. And now I'm gonna go in with blush. So for blush, what I like to do is I like to do more of like a deeper toned blush during this season. So that's why I mentioned in my makeup tutorial the other day that I really love the Flower Beauty in Warm Hibiscus, because this one is almost like a red toned highlight with some reflexes of gold, like almost looking like oro. So I feel like it just really gives you such a beautiful finish, and it's a little bit deeper, so it goes perfectly with your contour. I'm just gonna be applying that over my contour a little bit. I know everybody likes to do things differently, but I just feel like applying it over kind of enhances that a little bit more, especially because I don't really like that like deep, like dark color. I like a more so like soft, like blush tone color. If you haven't checked out Flower Beauty's blushes, you need to do that because they are so good. Like these blushes are on another level. And I'm still to this day a firm believer that the best blushes are at the drugstore. Like Milani's blushes are bomb. These blushes are bomb. This fall season, you really need a good setting powder just to kind of keep everything in place, but not only for that, but also for that matte finish. And I have to say this Kylie Cosmetics one is really nice for that because the powder's so fine that it's not a thick consistency whatsoever, and it gives you very like skin-like finishes, which I think is something that a lot of people want. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do with the powder is I'm just gonna go ahead and take it and put it in the areas where I tend to get very, very oily. Because we went in with a cream contour stick on the nose, sometimes the sides of the nose can look a little bit like luminous. So I always like to go in on the nose with the setting powder so that I can really kind of mattify it. Now I am gonna go in with my sponge, and I'm going to be taking the powder and applying it on my cheeks because I want to give it that extra snatch. So this is a step that I don't typically do. It's getting on my hair. But I feel like when you're doing like a really glam look in the fall, like you can't go wrong with baking your face a little bit. And I feel like just doing that really allows the skin to kind of give you that very structured look right underneath of the blush and the bronzer, contour, whatever you decide to use. And what I like about using the Hydrating Makeup Revolution foundation as with the matte foundation is that it makes sure that even with the powder on top that you put on, it's not gonna give you cakey vibes. And I wanna dust this away. I don't like to leave it on for too long. I don't want it to structure me too much. I just kind of leave it on for that amount of time. And then same thing on this side. Clean it up. And I feel like it just gives you like the feels. So having a nice setting powder, you can never go wrong with it, especially one that's very lightweight and doesn't feel so matte and like dry. I feel like a beautiful glow during the season, just in the high points of the cheeks. So I'm gonna be taking my favorite highlighter, which is the Kokie Cosmetics highlighter in Heavenly. And this one is just the prettiest, like champagne gold on my skin. And I feel like it gives off the prettiest color, still looking very nice and natural in the sense of going with my skin tone. For a little bit of a pop, but not going in too far with it, I like to take this precise brush. This is my Morphe M501 brush, and I like to take, let me show you this little technique. I like to take my Farsali Spray Rose Gold Skin Mist, and I just spray it and I kind of let it do its thing. Then I go in, tap off the excess, and I just apply it right here. Do you see how I just literally applied it right there? The softest touch gives you the most glam, beautiful highlight. And when you are out in the sun, like if you're taking some pictures and you're out in the sun, I'm telling you, if you're facing like that, it's gonna give you the most beautiful beam on your face. You can find this at Rite Aids and also on Kokie Cosmetics website, and you can save 25% off with my coupon code TheMexBeauty on your entire purchase. So why not save some cash? We're gonna be taking this Marc Jacobs liner. This is in the shade, where is it? Brown out, and it's like this really pretty brown. It does have a little tiny bit of like some shimmer in it, but I feel like it looks perfect for this fall vibe. So I'm just gonna be taking that. Bless the people's heart that their eyes don't water when they put liner. Mine water a little bit, and I'm just like, oh. So do you see what a difference that makes? I just find that brown liner is so in for this season. I would stay away from black because I feel like black can be super harsh on those bottom under eyes. I feel like a brown, like a dark brown, if you're like too scared to like go for anything of like a light brown because you're so used to the dark black, I would just go in with a dark brown like this one, and I feel like it softens the look, and I feel like it doesn't take away too much from the top liner and the lash. These candles burning in the back, oh, the best fall vibes. I actually got these at HomeSense. I got all my decor from HomeSense. I don't know if they have it in every state, but they have it here in Maryland. I think it's a sister brand to like TJ Maxx, like Home Goods, all that stuff. But I love it, and those candles are from HomeSense. HomeSense has some great candles as well. They're pretty cheap. I think they're like $9, like $10 for that big one right there. The little one I think was like $6, and they smell amazing. That one is called Autumn Orchard. Now we can finalize this look with a bold lip. I want to show you what I would pair for this specific makeup look. You guys have seen me use the dark one, which is Protector the most. So stunning. But I think I want to switch it up today because I want to do something a little bit more vampy. But first I want to line my lips. I find that for the fall makeup trend, you have to do a bold lip, but not only that, you have to make sure that when you are doing a bold lip, you use a lip liner to complement it so that you have an easier time drawing out your shape and having it look super clean and snatched. Okay, so I'm gonna be taking this Kokie Cosmetics lip liner. This one is in the shade Wine. So we have Wine on. Now we're gonna go in with the Maybelline Liquid Lipstick in Voyager. And do you see how easy it made it for Voyager to just go right on because we already have the lip lined? I also like the fact that these are like pointed at the top so you can really go in and take your time drawing out your lip shape. So you can really see that you can pair this eye look with a super brownie lip, or you can pair it with a super like wine color red. But I just feel like for the fall, you have to do the bold lip. Like, this looks phenomenal. And then the very last thing I like to do is go ahead and set my makeup with my Urban Decay All Nighter Spray, because this makeup we're gonna be taking from the pumpkin patch at noon to Horror Nights at Six Flags at 10 p.m. So we need this makeup to completely stay on, locked into place all day long. So I always do my test run, and then I do this, and we are ready to go. We are ready to be seen by the world and take glamorous pictures. So this pretty much concludes the look, and these are all my top essentials for a fall makeup look. I wanted to end the series with a bang because I know how much you guys were really enjoying it, and I really wanted to stay in the core of the fall spirit, and I was like, what else will they truly love? So I just felt like this makeup essentials for a fall makeup look were just what we needed to end it with. And I'm so sad that it came to an end today, but I feel like it was just such a success, and you guys will always have a playlist here on my channel to look back on. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you so much for all your support this week. And don't worry, because this isn't the end for good. I will be doing many more series here on my channel. You guys are gonna see a whole lot of new stuff here. I feel like this series really was able to kind of dwindle me in there. So thank you so much for all your support. And I want to know now what your favorite day of 5 days of fall was. So go ahead and leave that down below in my comment section. Let's start a conversation. I love interacting with you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed watching 5 days of fall this week. I hope that this allowed you to kind of get into that fall spirit, because I know I am. After this full week of a lot of fall stuff, I'm like here for it. I'm ready to, you know, wear all my fall clothes and go out and drink some pumpkin spice lattes and wear this fall makeup look like every day. Also, if you're new to my channel, hi, welcome. I hope that you enjoyed this video enough to stick around and become a member of family here on YouTube, because I wouldn't want you guys to miss my videos, because I have a lot of fun stuff on here. And if you're watching the whole series and haven't subscribed yet, I mean, it's time to become a member of our family, because you will not want to miss any of this stuff. Also, if you haven't hit the notification bell, go ahead and hit that notification bell so that you are always one of the first people to watch my new videos, because I always surprise you guys. I bring you guys some hot shit, and you don't want to miss the hot shit. So hit that notification bell. And that being said, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for all the support this week. And yeah, I love you guys. Have a great day. And I'll see you guys very, very soon for a brand new video. Bye, guys.